Guard your turts, because they might be burgled. That'll make sense in a little bit, I promise. Welcome to my channel! This is very new for me, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, we're just gonna dive right in. My name is Audrey, and I call myself the Professional Amateur because I'm a collector of hobbies, maker of things, and a professional at nothing, including YouTube introductions. Anyway, I like to make things, so that's what I'll be doing on here. Most of them, if not all of them, will have some sort of pop culture reference. I have 3 things planned to make this week, and I'm really excited to try and get those done because they've been in the back of my brain for a while, so I'm very happy to get them finally out into the real world. One is a patchwork dress that I've been gathering materials for over a year. Number 2 is a sweater inspired by Over the Garden Wall, which I am clearly a fan of. I put this sweater together 2 years ago. 2. I put it together 2 years ago with a thrifted sweatshirt I found on ThredUp, which, if you don't know, is an online thrift store. This isn't sponsored by ThredUp, I just really love ThredUp. Although ThredUp, if you want to sponsor me, I wouldn't say no. Number 3 is a pinafore type... What am I doing? Number 3 is a pinafore style dress that I'll be making out of an old tablecloth. But I want to start with the sweater because that's the one I'm most excited for. So, what's going to be on the sweater? Over the Garden Wall, for those who haven't watched, is the perfect fall autumnal watch. It is a single-season animated series where 2 young boys are lost in the woods. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. I love this sweatshirt so much, I want to wear it every day. And somehow it's my only piece of clothing that's Over the Garden Wall themed. And I don't know what's taken me so long to make another one, so it's time. I thrifted a sweater a few days ago from the thrift store, and I thought it would be perfect, not only because it was 94 cents, but because it is a lovely autumnal color, and I think it'll go very well with the very eloquent quote, "Here to burgle your turts."
So we came here to burgle your turts.
And what are turts? These are turts. And I'm gonna burgle them. Just kidding, I'm not gonna burgle the turts. I'm gonna make some turts and put them on the sweater. For this sweatshirt, I embroidered all of the letters on because I knew that this scuba knit would be stable enough to hold it on its own. This time around, it's less of a sweatshirt, more of an actual sweater, so I'm not sure about embroidering the details. I think my first attempt is going to be infusible ink to iron on, although I don't know if I can iron onto this. Can I iron you? Doesn't say you can't iron, but it does say you have to do it from the other side. I'm gonna try it anyway. We're gonna see. We're gonna test it and see. I don't really know what I'm doing, but let's do it anyway. Now I'm opening up Photoshop so that I can make the image that I want to put onto the sweater. The file size I'm using is an 8x10. Now I need to pick a font. Good font. I want kind of old-timey looking, but not too old-timey that it's not playful anymore either. I didn't find any that I already had saved that I liked, so now I am in Adobe Fonts, searching for another one. And it's funny, all of the ones I've saved so far sound very Italian. Portofino, Raffaella, finding the theme here, Fabiola. Why are they all Italian? So there's the font that I chose. Now I'm going to export it as a transparent file, put it to my iPad, and draw some turts. For the turtles, I just went ahead and traced some turtles from a screenshot from the show. I think I'm going to cut out a few more and place them around different parts of the sweater. Maybe just 1, maybe 2, maybe more. I don't know. So now I'm sending the images with a transparent background back to my computer, where I'm going to put them into Cricut and get to cutting them out. Now they're resized in Cricut Design Space, and we're gonna make it. Oops. Okay, that took forever. But it's all done. it's all done. Since I'm not sure this is going to work, I'm going to take one of my extra turts and try and test it down at the bottom of the sweater, just so I'm not testing it smack dab in the middle of the front. And if it works, great. I'll do the rest, and if it doesn't, please work. Because I don't have any black embroidery thread. Let's give it a shot. So I waited for it to cool after ironing on this side and the opposite side, and now it's time to see if it worked. Oh no! Oh no! That did not go well. It actually went way worse than I thought it would, which is rare because I usually anticipate mistakes, but I didn't expect nothing to happen. I guess maybe it doesn't work on the type of material the sweater is made out of. I think it's 100% polyester or something, but I've used it on polyester before and it worked just fine, so I'm not sure what went wrong, but it not only went wrong, it just didn't go. I expected it to be half transferred, half not, which has happened to me before with plain t-shirts trying to do the infusible ink, where just like half, like very spottily? It was a very spotty transfer, so I expected that. That's why I didn't want to try it on the front of the sweater. So I guess I haven't decided if I want to buy more embroidery thread like I was planning to before, or if I make my life 10 times harder and make a Turt's dress. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I think that's what I want to do. This always happens. I'll have a plan set, and then either while something is going wrong or something is going very right, I have an idea and I go, I should do that. It's going to be a lot more work, but I should do that. That's actually how this guy came to be. He was the product. Oh, he's not focusing. Focus on the frog. Focus on Big Boy Frog. There he is. It's actually how this guy came to be. I was just making a corset that was green and mossy and kind of swampy, and then I ended up making a whole Swamp Witch outfit. And of course, if I'm a Swamp Witch, I needed a familiar, so I made one out of foam clay, and I love him. Weird little tangent, just for the purpose of saying sometimes 10 times more work for myself turns out really, really well. The only problem is I don't have any fabric, surprisingly, that will work for this idea. What I'm kind of seeing in my head is instead of the pinafore dress I was going to make out of the tablecloth, I'll make a dress with "Here to Burgle Your Turts" on the front. I'm picturing turts on the skirt. I want it to be green, and I don't have that in my stash, so I might have to go to the thrift shop tomorrow. And oh, hi, Joe. Did you wake up from a nap? Hi, Joe, baby. That's Pearl. I think she thinks the microphone is a treat. This is a microphone. Should I make the dress? Or should I make the sweater? She's still looking at it like she wants to eat it. You can't eat it. I'm so sorry. I can feed you, though. Okay, it's time for Pearl's dinner, so I'm gonna call it a night and hopefully go to the thrift shop tomorrow and get some fabric that'll work. Welp, it's 2 days later. Putting my hair up. I actually recently chopped my hair a couple inches because whenever I sew, my hair goes up like this. I throw it up. Not like, I throw it up so it's out of the way, because I cannot stand my hair being in my way, in my face, ever. But you don't need to know that. You're here to watch me make a dress, so let's go make a dress. So my camera died, but you didn't miss much. It was just cutting out the pattern from its big old pattern sheet, and I folded it because I did not want the sleeves to scoop down as low as they do in the pattern, and I also didn't want it to be as long as it looks in the pattern, so I just folded it and fudged it a little, so we'll see if that works. Here are the pattern pieces all cut out. I actually remembered to cut out pockets, and I cut my circle skirt on the sides so that I could add pockets, which is good because I usually forget. Now it's time to sew it together, and I'm only going to show a few shots of this because it's going to take a while and it's not that fun to look at. So, cue sewing montage. Construction is done. I did make a very common mistake for myself. I often do this, and I don't know why. I think it's because I have trouble picturing things spatially. The pockets are quite low. They're there, and they're large, and they're spacious, but they're low. Common mistake for me to make, but I really don't care enough to take them apart and fix it. So we're just gonna have low pockets. The next step is placing all of the little turtles around the edge of the skirt. Hopefully I have enough that it doesn't look weirdly spaced. I cut out a lot, so hopefully there will be enough because I'm out of infusible ink sheets. So there's gonna have to be enough. After they're all pinned into place, then we'll see if they transfer. Shockingly, I don't have enough turtles. I kind of figured I wouldn't have enough. I thought if I spaced them properly, I could stretch it, but I feel like if I space them out even more, it's just gonna look really weird. I think I only have about 5 more that were supposed to be for the back of the skirt. I'm just not going to do the back of the skirt. I think what I'll do is I'll make some little trios of turtles on the front, and then I thought it'd be cute to put one on the inside of the pockets. Like I've got turtles in my pockets that I burgled.
We're burglars!
I think that's gonna have to do. We're going to work with what we've got, add them in random places on the front and in the pockets, and I think that'll be good. Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna look cute. These sheets are cotton. I've set the iron to cotton. I have a protective piece of fabric to put over it so it's not directly onto the plastic. We'll see. Hopefully it'll work, and hopefully it won't not work. We're gonna try one on the edge first, just so we're not going right in center front where it might mess up, and we'll see if it transfers, and if it doesn't, I don't have a plan C. Let's just do it. I should let it cool probably, but just a little preview to see. I think that's as good as we're gonna get, and it looks pretty good. So I'm not gonna film the entire process of ironing these on because it's going to take a long time and it's going to be very repetitive, kind of like the sewing. Quick ironing update. I accidentally lifted the fabric while I was bringing the protective fabric up off of the skirt, and I found ink on my ironing pad. Oh no! They've all been bleeding through the skirt. I don't know what to do about that, so we're going to ignore it and move on. Learning as we go. That's the important part, I guess. Protective fabric on top and protective fabric underneath, always. If it was a thing I was supposed to do, I didn't know that, but now I do. My mic died, so I'm using the camera mic. I don't know if it'll sound worse or better. I guess I'll find out in editing.
Yeah, we don't need those mics.
I've ironed all of the little turtles onto the bottom of the dress, and now it's time to do the front, top, center, and there are little ink turtles all over my ironing pad. Because it's time to iron the top, I'm gonna wrap it in some scrap fabric to try and prevent the ink from this getting onto the back of the top of the dress and hope for the best.
A few moments later.
How could something so simple go so wrong? Iron on in an hour, done, ready to go, ready to wear. The front of this dress has gone so poorly. Once the turtles on the bottom were going poorly, I thought we're gonna power through, we're gonna learn what we're doing wrong, we're gonna not do that on the next one. And I thought by the time we get through all of those turtles, we'll have made all our mistakes and we'll know how to avoid them. The front is a hot mess. Emphasis on hot. It didn't completely transfer the ink in all of the places, and then in the places where it did it to the extent that it looks like a different color because of the heat. Peeling this it didn't. I'm so confused. This guy just got peeled off of the front. He's been under the iron for at least 20 seconds. The same amount of time it took all of the ink to come off of the other piece and burn, and yet he did not fully transfer. I don't. Maybe we'll just say it has a vintage feel. It's been worn, passed down through the ages, where their great-great-grandmother burgled turts as well. I don't know. Hopefully she'll look better on, so let's find out. Well, that was something. It is yet again a couple days later, and I realized I forgot to record an outro. I'm new at this. I'll get it together soon. I'm used to ending my Instagram reels with just the reveal and then it's done. Can't do that with this, I don't think. It just doesn't flow. It doesn't feel complete. So this is my outro. It's just as awkward and just as unplanned and unscripted as the intro was. So again, bear with me. I also realized while I was editing that my reveal was recorded in slow motion. Yeah, I don't know. Got my camera on eBay and it didn't come with the manual and I haven't looked it up online yet, but I must have hit a button or something before I started filming the reveal that recorded the entire thing in slow motion. But everything's at 2 and 4 times speed to make it look normal. Honestly, just par for the course for this project. This video is all over the place, and looking back and editing, it doesn't look as bad as it felt in the moment when things weren't going right. So the reactions I had to the iron-ons not working very well and just everything was more the emotion behind the moment rather than how it looked in the end. Because I think in the end it looked pretty good and I'm definitely going to wear it all the time. It's really comfortable. It's made from bed sheets, so it's super comfortable. I actually wore it to go see a show this weekend, so it was fun to wear it out in the wild. I also recorded part of the process of making my accessories, and there wasn't a point in the video that it felt natural to put that in. I might share that as a short on its own, but you can see Mr. President, George Washington, Kitty, Ben Franklin, Wirt Jr., what have you. I also made Tiny Turt, and I wore both in the video because I couldn't choose which one to make, so I made them both, and then I couldn't choose which one to wear, so I wore them both. And I made a tea kettle. I should grab it. Woo! And I made a tea kettle hair clip out of some metallic felt that I had on hand based on his from the cartoon. So did this go to plan? No, clearly. Am I happy with the results? Yes, I am. Wearing that dress is going to bring me so much joy, especially because now I have over the garden wall earrings, which I've always wanted to make and I haven't ever taken the time to. So this was a good reason to go ahead and make them. Now I just want to make more. Honestly, I want to make something from every episode of the show, since each episode has its own feel and setting and characters, but that might be a future project, so I'm not going to share anything else about that yet. But I'm very excited about next week's project because it's something I've been waiting to do for a really long time, but I couldn't do it because the SAG-AFTRA strike was going on and I was trying really hard not to cross the picket line, and I wasn't sharing content that was related to television or movies. Then this next project kind of references a lot of those. So I'm really excited to get this done finally, and you'll have to come back to see what it is. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up. That would make all of the tiny turts that I burgled very happy. And if you didn't, don't worry about it. Granny Turt Burglar will not at all be by your house to burgle your turts. I have some really fun projects lined up. I have some really fun projects planned for this month and way into the future. My project idea list is so long, so if you want to see those future projects, please subscribe. I promise the next project will not be as chaotic. Trust me, I'm a professional amateur. It'll be fun, and the end results will be fun to look at. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.